Welcome to the Real Estate Show. From buying to selling and everything in between. Rochester's home for everything real estate. And now, your hosts from the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. It's Anthony Butera and Jason Mancuso.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Real Estate Show. We got Anthony and Jason here. We're on episode 95 of the Real Estate Show. What are we going to do for the big 100?
Man, plan something big.
Yeah.
Do something crazy. Let's get within 6 feet of somebody.
Some wild stuff. Yeah. I'm in.
What do you think the Tinder, what do you think's going on in that game? Do you think, have they shut the site down?
Oh, man. They're still Tindering it up. They're doing Zoom dates.
Because I know on Grindr, they've given us, carte blanche. We're out there.
It's still, go ahead.
Yeah, I got the go-ahead.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what people have to definitely just still be hooking up. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, just...
You think
I
they're
don't know. I mean, that could be the cause for where we're at in the world right now.
But do you think the guys are showing up at the Tinder hookups door with a boner and a thermometer?
Yes, that's how you do it.
The boner is a thermometer.
No one's falling for that anymore, Jason. You and your St. Bonaventure days.
All right.
Anyhow, Kodak.
And I was just looking up
Talk
the stock
about that.
today.
Yeah, we could pull out your grandfather's old Kodak beach towels and blankets and bumper stickers. We're back.
We're back, baby. We're back.
All we need is a couple of Chase Pickens to open back up.
Yeah,
And we're right back in the 90s. You know?
all you dummies that took that buyout, suckers.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool though. I mean, I wonder.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wonder how big it'll get, right? Because what are they talking, 300 something employees? I mean, I guess
300 to start. 700 was it? $764 million. And you know what? I'm so naive because both my brothers are in the pharmaceutical world. I didn't realize that 90% plus of our prescriptions are made overseas.
China.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize that you could take a factory that makes film and go now we'll make stuff that you eat.
Yeah.
Now we're making pills for you.
Yeah, and what's
the chemicals around you?
What's the big local sauce manufacturer?
Pergo?
Ludestri. Yeah, they have. They're in one of the old Kodak buildings. So glow in the dark sauce.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think just from an
local. Local jobs.
From the national perspective, I think this sort of thing has to keep happening, right? There's no reason that we can't, cost effectively, make everything in-house in America, right? I mean,
yeah.
I get it. Profit margin is what it is, but just, from these company leaders, suck it up, get the jobs here, get the production here. I mean, okay, you make a little less than if you're subbing everything out to freaking India or China or whatever the example is, but there's no reason for that. I mean, we got to kind of, rally around it, kind of similar to a World War II type effort, not to draw any comparisons, but that's just what happened back then, right? Everybody went to work and started producing freaking tanks and ammo or whatever the example is. Let's get this country going. So to have that hit home in Rochester. Yeah, to have that hit home in Rochester, especially with the brand of Kodak kind of being rejuvenated. And I mean, did you see the stock yesterday go from pennies to $35?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I should have bought some because I saw
that one.
I saw on Monday that there was going to be an announcement.
Yeah.
But then it disappeared off all the local TV stations' websites. They said there's going to be an announce, and then they scrubbed them all, probably because Kodak was a bit hey, not yet, and then Tuesday was the announce.
Good
Insider trading, we could be rich.
I know, we missed that one.
So
that's cool. I hope it keeps going.
From a real estate perspective, you kind of hope that they're local people that'll be fulfilling those jobs, because could you imagine right now with 300 plus relocations trying to find a house?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Either way, it's good news.
Either way, we'll take it, right?
Yeah,
Look,
we'll take it for sure.
I don't want to be pessimistic about it. I hope it works out. But Kodak did try to get into like cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And that worked out great. You know, they're like Bitcoin now, you know?
Yeah, they also tried getting in the menstrual cup game too a while back, and that wouldn't work out.
Did it? You got it.
We'll take the pill industry.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty stable.
Mm-hmm.
Good news. Good local news. Love it.
For sure. Politics aside, it's good news for Rochester.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, my grandmother worked for Kodak. Did either of you have any relatives that work for Kodak? I'd be willing to bet yes.
Yeah,
right?
I think my dad was the last person working at one of the, in one of the buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
Myra turned the lights off.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, that's just the way it is, though. You talk with two Rochesterians, at least one of them had a relative work for Kodak back in the heyday.
Yeah, I mean, they literally brought my mom's family, from Sicily. I mean, the Kodak was so busy back then. It was this, late 60s that my grandfather got as like an amateur, very amateur electrician. And I say that because he rigged his car ignition to a light switch to start the car. I'm not joking either, but he got like 25 years in at Kodak without speaking a lick of English. So think about that piece. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. We just need bodies.
Yeah, no, we just need you here. Push this button. Yeah. No, that's cool. You know what I was thinking about recently? Somewhat on topic, but off topic. Like, whatever happened to the guys that just, the CEO that totally dropped the ball?
They're CEO somewhere else.
40 years ago. Does anybody know who that is? Like, we need to bring him into the limelight, get him on an interview. What do you think?
I just love the stories at Kodak where like they had a bunch of the patents and stuff for like digital cameras and the smartphone, and they were like, man.
No, I was just reading about it. There was a guy who was higher up who was pushing for it, and the big dogs at the top are like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, film's great.
We'll stick with the film. We got too many lines of revenue tied to film. We don't need this digital crap.
Yeah, Kodak and Polaroid, they hung in there.
Yeah.
All right,
we gotta find that guy, get him on the podcast, see what he's up to.
I've got some listener questions, some real estate questions. Want to go through some of those?
Yeah.
People actually listen.
Yeah, and watch.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
All right, so somebody basically just wants to know, like interest rates are pretty low right now, and they want to know if they're going to stay this low.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Well, I can tell you, no, they're not going to stay this low. Without a crystal ball, I can tell you that I think a lot of it's going to be based around what happens come election time. And they're going to go up no matter what. I just, without having the gauge on it, it wouldn't shock. I'll put it to you this way: it wouldn't shock me that if in 9 months the rates are around 4%, as opposed to like right now, you can get a 15-year for 2.5% interest right now. It's pretty crazy. These are historical lows, and not like near historical lows. We're at historical lows right now.
All time history of the world.
And it's really the saving grace here locally because of the market conditions that we have and the lack of inventory. Like, yeah, it's obnoxious. A lot of consumers, they have to overpay for something, historically speaking, with values. But like, I guess the ultimate justification is if we're going to feel like we have to overpay, at least we're overpaying at a low interest rate, right?
Yeah. No, we've talked about it before. Rates. Yeah, we've talked about it before. There's a huge benefit to buying now, as whatever you want to call it, as obnoxious of a seller's market as it is with these homes selling the way that they are, the dynamic that they're selling in with over asking price and multiple people over asking price quickly. The catalyst to the market is the interest rate. I mean, look at it. You hear it here first. It ain't going to be pretty for anybody when the interest rates go up. There's the problem that we've had in the past few years of reduced inventory and low levels of inventory. There's nothing out there that's really saying that there's going to be something to lead to a spike in homes coming on the market. So if the interest rate goes up, there's going to be that many fewer buyers because of the cost rising. That it's not. We're in a good time right now in our business and to buy or to sell.
And so, the other piece is, the market right now it is tough as a buyer, but the buyer that's approved for 190 today, if the rates went up 3 points, which would still be low historically speaking, if they went up 3 points, that same buyer that's approved for 190 today, all of a sudden is only approved for 140,000, and we've reached these new values. That's going to be difficult. Now it starts to affect consumer confidence. The ability to borrow becomes that much tougher. So you're right, Jason. I think that it depends how you look at things. As an agent, a lot of agents feel like this is the absolute worst market they've ever been in. But on the flip side, with there's opportunity in everything. And we've been blessed in that we've been capitalizing on the current opportunities. We're personally, our team, we're having the best months we've ever had in the business. And there's challenges, there's hurdles, but the quicker you adapt to those hurdles, because I got in the business and the market was complete opposite. You couldn't give a house away. There was no consumer confidence. The ability to borrow was tougher. The rates were higher, and it sucked. I mean, listings were just lingering forever. So there's no easy market. There's just those that adapt or those that die.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, for not even for our sake, but for the consumer's sake, this is a good market with all of that said. Just from a buying power standpoint, I mean, even with it being on the lower end of the historical levels at say 5%, which is, again, historically speaking, still a great rate, we're spoiled right now. So take advantage of it. I'm not telling you not to worry about what you pay for a home, but $10,000 of a purchase price has much less of an effect long term than a point or two in a higher interest rate. So be in that mindset. And I mean, to answer the question in terms of will they go up? Yes, 100% they're going to go up. It just cannot stay at the level that it's at. Just stuff beyond any of our comprehension. But the bottom line is that the powers that be that control the world, the interest rate is a large portion of their control. And right now they're doing what they're doing so that, the world doesn't go into total chaos financially. And there is some level of consumer confidence and some level of affordability. Well, they're going to need to make up for that on the back end. And, they will have to increase it, unfortunately. So whether that's after election, whether it's next year, whether it's 2022, I don't think it really lasts much longer than that 2-year window. But, for any of us to say we've got a pulse on if it's going to happen in 3 months or 3 years, again, wish we had the crystal ball. So,
and to wrap that up, and we'll get to the next question, but I think the other really important piece is, listen, the majority of homeowners.
No, he's got the calls coming in. It's usually me.
The majority of homeowners in our area have a mortgage. It's a small percentage of people that have no mortgage in their home. And we live in New York State. And yes, our taxes are absurd and we'll be able to bitch about it forever. With that being said, it's kind of another justification. Like, if we're going to get bogged down with these ridiculous taxes, you know what? At least our interest rate's 3% or lower, right? It lightens the blow.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, I got another question from a listener. They basically say that they put in around 7 offers, haven't gotten any accepted, and they're just wondering, are there steps they can make? Are there things they can do differently to get an offer accepted?
Only 7? You got like 8 more to go. Get out of here.
My sister just sold and bought her house, or bought a house, and she did it in a weekend. I mean,
Really?
the selling of her house was easy. She had 15 offers on that. And then she bought a house in Greece in the Hilton School District. But she basically did what you guys say. She went like 15, 20 over asking, and she got it. She didn't mess around trying to get the extra, she went over on it.
Yeah, definitely on the rare side of the circumstance, so that's good for her. I mean, look, so I guess I'll spin the question this way. If I had a buyer who said, Jason, you tell me what I got to do to get this house. I don't care. I want it at no cost. Or cost doesn't matter.
At any cost.
No cost. I'll take it at no cost.
No cost. I want it. Here's what I would tell you is it all comes down to what you're comfortable with in terms of price. But again, tying back to the conversation we just had about the interest rate, I'd be talking to them about, the benefits of, paying a little more now compared to, waiting it out, so to speak. But, from there, it's a non-inspection contingent offer. So let's take a very good look at this house while we're in it and make sure we're comfortable with it, being used. And there's going to be stuff that happens down the road that you have to deal with. And let's try to wrap our heads around what that budget could be based on what we see. So no inspection contingency. The biggest deposit you can make within 2 days. The process is for buying a house, you essentially have 2 checks to cut. One is this deposit I'm talking about. The other is everything else at closing. So in theory, you could, say your total closing costs are $30,000. You could pay everything up front in the form of the deposit and owe nothing 2 months later or a month later at closing. We would advise that your deposit is protected to where if you back out of the deal with the protection of any of your contingencies, that you'll get that money back. If you bail out of the deal in the 11th hour with no real reason or no contingency protecting you, that money is at risk. So, make sure that you're totally, gung-ho on it, situationally. It's a no contingent offer is what you need to make. You have to get a mortgage, which is, whatever you want to call it, 90% of the people out there, we get that. But also then, we got to get you with the right bank. We got to, we just need to make it as clean as possible. Yeah. And this is crazy, right? To talk to, especially if you just started working with a buyer or don't know them well, to have that conversation, believe me, I'm, delivering it with more empathy than I am right now. But, just to get them to understand, like, look, if you're telling me you have to have this house, then, you have to present yourself as the cleanest buyer possible. And the terms may seem crazy, but chances are there's 1 or 2 other people that are having the same conversation and going to come to the plate with that strong offer.
And I can tell you, like, I'm always asking agents because they're calling me frustrated. They have buyers and like they can't seem to get anything accepted. And then you dig deeper and you ask deeper questions and like, well, yeah, they have to have a home inspection, which I understand and is the reason why they're not getting an accepted offer. And they need $4,000 in seller's concessions, which I understand, and it's the reason they're not getting an accepted offer. So you need to literally make, if you're doing your best for your buyer in this market, you're letting them know that we need to beg, borrow, and steal that $4,000 from a family member and pay it back. Figure something else out. If you really want this house, we have to put our best foot forward. And if not, maybe it's just not your market. It's not time for you to buy. Extend your lease. Honestly, I mean, I know a lot of agents don't want to because, there's a part of us that we're all whores at the end of the day to a certain extent, but like you have to do right by your buyer and tell them that they can get a house in this market, but they can't get a deal. And like you can't take family advice when buying a house. It's funny, I get like this feedback. It's like, no, my father said he'd never allow us to go in at asking price. Well, that's good because we're not going in at asking price. We're going in $25,000 over, and I still don't know if you're going to get it because there's 12 other offers. And listen, we're looking at, and Jason and I are literally looking at more offers than anybody in the entire state of New York. We're listing more than we're even buying, and it's kind of been our saving grace because listings are key right now. And I literally, like, I can't remember the last time I accepted an offer when there was competitive offers that had an inspection or had seller's concessions or were contingent.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, so you have to decide if you're cut out for this market. And if you're not, by all means, just wait. Wait it out.
Two
Now,
things.
consequences of waiting goes back to the last question. Consequences of waiting may just be that, congrats, in 18 months, you feel like you got a better deal for a house, potentially, and now your rate's at 5%. So win-win or win-lose or lose-lose.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, great point. Two things to add. One, I always tell people, like, the house that you should buy, like, it should really, I tell people it should slap you in the face. Like, you know it's the one, right? So there should be little doubt about, you know, the conversation of wanting to get a deal or wanting to get the house. Like, if it's not like, I have to get this freaking house, what do I got to do? Should you even be offering on it? And, you know, I feel too often there's not enough of that around. And that's why it's kind of like the wishy-washy of like, well, I don't need to have it. Let's just offer this. Like, well, huh? You know, this is your house. This isn't like, you know, even a car, right? So it's the biggest purchase of your life. Wouldn't you want to be just like in love with the notion of getting it? So that should be, you know, the feelings that you're having, and then it's easier to kind of digest the conversation that we just had. And two, shit, I forgot what two was.
That's right. I'll jump in, and I'll say that. I'll say that if like for this buyer's question, if you've lost out on 7 offers, something tells me you're writing on something that just hit the market. If you do not want to substantially go over list price to win an offer, stop looking at homes that are new to the market, and stop looking at homes that are at the top, that are listed at the top of your comfort zone. If you're only approved for 200,000, stop looking at homes that come on the market for 200,000. 175 should be your cap because you may need $25,000 in wiggle room to go over list price, right? So stay away from the new, the hot, the desirable listing that everybody else is focusing on. All right, Fred, she's too hot for you. Stay away from her, right?
That was actually my number 2 that I forgot, is that, you know, this conversation largely specifically applies to these properties that are deemed to be hot, that, you know, just through the demand. You know, a property that's been on the market for 2 weeks and, you know, it's either overpriced or there's a lot wrong with it, we can play it totally differently. You know, so it's our job as the realtor to find out, like, what's going on with the competition level. If there's no competition, then by all means, we enjoy that side the most. Like, guns a-blazing, let's freaking negotiate. This is awesome. We haven't done this in forever.
Exactly. And like, it's the dating analogy. Like, you're not capable of getting a 10, but what if there was a hot girl? Like, what if she had a hot body and a wonky eye? Go after that, right? Stay in your lane.
All sage advice. We don't just give you real estate advice. We give you life advice here.
Life advice.
Life advice.
Do you want to do one more question?
Sure.
What time is it? What do we got? We got time for one more.
All right, we'll do this one real quick. Just, do you think the market's going to change in the next year?
No. See you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Yeah, nice talking to you. Yes and no. It all depends on the interest rate. The interest rate is, let's just call it below 4. Okay. Use 4% as that baseline. If it's 4% or below, it's not going to change. I worry about change once it starts to creep towards 5. So follow the interest rate. If you're seeing the rates in the 3s or near 4, it's going to be the same crazy, freaking deal going on now and forever. As soon as the rates start to creep up, that's when the shift will really occur. So
yeah.
And I think just from an overall practicality, like economy conversation, even whatever happens election wise, it's going to take time to really, have the rates change. I mean, the Fed's already come out to say that they're not looking to do anything in the near future. So I think 2021 will most likely be a similar market across the board. If they start to creep up a little bit, then it may, change the level of craziness. But I think we're still in the same conversation that we've been in the last, going on 5 years now. So I think 2022 may be where things start to change.
Yeah, so get out and vote, kids. You got 2 great candidates. One's got narcolepsy that sniffs children, and the other one's an orange idiot. So you can't lose.
Win-win. No matter what, we're in good hands.
Yeah, we're good.
We're in good hands. Joe's hands.
Yeah.
The market change conversation is relevant to whether the human race gets wiped out from the planet.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what happens the next couple months.
See what happens
when school's open and the disease spreads.
So, good luck, folks. Follow the interest rate.
All right, guys. Go to anthonybuterrateam.com. You can subscribe there. Follow us on Facebook, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. See you.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show. Find us on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. If you're looking to sell or buy, talk to the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. Visit anthonybuterrateam.com.